Jackie Jenkin. Tiffany Steiner.
Excellent. And thank you very much for joining us here today as we are coming to kind of the conclusion for the Bakken BBQ season. Of course, it starts all year, usually around first of the year, where you start getting the word out, finding sponsors, et cetera, et cetera. Then the event happens, and this year was postponed from June to, I believe, September, if my memory, August. Then August, yep. And then, it's been a heck of a year. And then anyway, so now we're at the point where we're going to be announcing the dollar amounts that were raised. And this year there was a lot of question. And, after, me going down to Texas and Oklahoma and you guys having your stuff going, we've been trying to get this interview for about a month now. So I'm glad that we finally had some time to connect. And also, more importantly, you guys have got a total of how much money was raised for Make-A-Wish North Dakota after the, is it the 8th annual Bakken BBQ this year? Was it 8?
Yes, it was 8 years.
Well, fantastic. Let's talk about, first off, let's get into the meat and potatoes, if you will, of the barbecue fundraiser. So let's talk a little bit about Make-A-Wish North Dakota and how much money was raised.
So we've supported Make-A-Wish North Dakota for several years now. We've had a great collaboration with them, and the community has been very receptive to giving back to Make-A-Wish, and our relationship with Make-A-Wish has just excelled over the last couple of years. And this year we were a little nervous with, obviously, given the circumstances this year, but we managed to raise $75,000 for Make-A-Wish North Dakota.
And really, that is one of the most fabulous pieces of news that we could possibly have, because last year you guys set a record with 100,000, and if my memory serves me, didn't that like double from the previous years? So 75 grand, although it wasn't a record year, it was near the record year during a pandemic, for crying out loud.
Yeah, last year we had double the companies cooking and double the attendance. So that just shows you our community really stepped up and supported us with sponsorships and all donations that really changed how much we were able to give back to Make-A-Wish North Dakota.
One of the other things, too, I want to mention that since this in the news and a lot of people are doing a lot of public shaming if people aren't wearing masks and COVID and et cetera, there wasn't an outbreak of COVID after the barbecue event that I emceed and you guys were a part of and organized and volunteered with and met and talked to a lot of different people. So, by the way, the reason I say it, very good job, girls. You guys were very responsible, and the proof is in the pudding. Granted, the measures that were taken at the time, they were done very well. I don't know. I didn't hear about any outbreaks or anything like that. Did you? Did you guys have like a debriefing or anything when it came to all the COVID talk? And there was some nerves because of the amount of people that came and everything else given in today's day and age. But I think you guys should be congratulated on a very successful event, a very healthy event, and a very safe event.
We did. We made sure we had all of our ducks in a row. We wanted to make sure we could still have this event, but also keep everyone safe. So we contacted Southwest Health District, North Dakota Department of Health, to make sure that we met all the requirements. And, people wore masks. We offered some type of mask. We had lots of hand sanitizer, a lot of spacing. So people had the opportunity for social distancing, but they could still come have a good time. And it was amazing that how our venue was laid out this year. We did this prior to COVID even being a thing, and it just kind of worked out really well.
One of the things I've noticed, and I think I mentioned this pre-barbecue, is that a lot of these outdoor events that have like public eating areas, they're kind of set up nicely because the spools and the tables are already socially distanced. I mean, they're 10 feet apart a lot of times and that sort of thing. So people can still come outside, be around others, but still have enough space to, feel like they're not, putting grandma in the hospital or, going to be publicly shamed or publicly shame anybody else. And so I was just very impressed with the event, and given all the news recently about, COVID coming back and all these other things, I just wanted to point that out, that you guys did put on a very successful event, precautions were taken. And based on the information that I was given and the reality I saw, there wasn't any blowback afterwards and everything along those lines. And 75 grand was raised. Look at that. Hey, take that, fear. Ha!
It was a good feeling to know we did everything we could. We made sure, like Jackie said, we checked all the boxes. We spent many months working on it. And in the end, it paid off. And it's a good feeling to know that, we can still do that with everything going on in the world.
And because of the modern technology we have of cell phones and other communication devices that are computers, you guys are in the parking lot waiting on some other business that involves family. So I'm going to ask you a pop question, and I don't know if you're ready for it, but do you guys have mentioned sponsors or anything like that, or are you in any position where you can do that?
Yeah, we've actually already offered our next year's booths to the cookers from last year, and some of them have been very receptive and already sent in their registrations because they're ready to go. And I think everybody just looks forward to this event so much that some people just get into their budget right away, and that's pretty amazing that we have so many people in our community or even in the Bakken that are so receptive to this event.
Have you got things lined up for next year yet as far as dates or mark the calendars yet?
We do. Our 9th annual Bakken BBQ is on June 18th, 2021. 1 year to our 10th annual. It's kind of crazy.
June 18th, 2021.
Correct.
Okay, awesome. And we're assuming everything's going to be on board at that point, all moving ahead. Talk to me about what you guys are going to do in the off season here. How can people help? How can people find out how to get ready for next year and maybe even donate some money?
So if anybody wants to get involved, whether it's volunteering, cooking, sponsoring, whatever it might be, they can reach out to us at bakkenbbq@hotmail.com or look us up on Facebook, Bakken BBQ, Barbecuing for a Cause.
Yep.
And see how they can get involved. We've kind of got everything laid out this next year, and we've chose kind of an exciting theme. And we're pretty excited. Our theme next year for our 9th annual is going to be
in appreciation of first responders. So we're pretty excited. We have the police department cooking. We have the fire department already cooking. We're reaching out to the other organizations. I think it's going to be a lot of fun because, you know what, they've had a crappy year as well. And they are, the heroes of our community. And why not support them through and through? We always love having them at our events, whether they're working or they're off. It's just something that we really enjoy. And I think it's going to be a fun year with them.
One of the things that I'm going to be very excited to at least contribute is the awareness behind firefighters, which is 85% of firefighters in America are volunteer, meaning that most of the fire departments in America are still volunteer, for crying out loud. So I applaud at what you're doing there for obviously the police and a lot of the other first responders. But I like to, for me personally, it's always been a little special in my heart is a lot of the firefighters considering that they're volunteer. And, and I think Dickinson is mostly volunteer, actually.
Yeah.
I think it is, yeah.
So, I mean, when you think about that, these guys are working full-time jobs, and they're not only do their employees let them go and be a part of this, but they also take time away from their families and everything like that to be a part of a volunteer firefighting organization in a community. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes out, first responders and that sort of thing as we come to June 18th, is it?
Correct, yep.
It's a Friday again?
It is a Friday.
All right. So, folks, June 18th, Friday, mark it. And any final thoughts here as we wind down about the Bakken BBQ as we conclude 2020 here?
We just want to thank everybody that has been so supportive of us, and especially you, Jason. Without your help, I don't think our event would be as successful as it is.
My son laughed when you said that, by the way. Just I right as soon as you said that, of laughter came from downstairs. Now, hopefully he was playing his game and not listening to this interview, but I'll take it where I can. So
Not very nice.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, and it's been a pleasure to be a part of it and to be a part of something with Make-A-Wish and his kids and be a part of something that is becoming a staple. It is a staple in the community now. If you're going to be on your 9th, going on 10th Bakken BBQ, I think it's safe to say that it is the premier barbecue of the Bakken. That's why it's called the Bakken BBQ. But it's been shown year after year after year, and it's grown. Even this year, I look at it as a growth year. I know you went down in cookers and you went down in money, but considering what happened, holy smokes, you got to consider this a growth year, don't you?
Yeah, we really do. And I think we learned a lot as well. Jackie and I in our committee, it took us to another level of event planning. So we now understand different things, and I think it's a good thing to take with us throughout every year. We're not going to stop changing what we added this year for COVID. Something we will probably take with us every year.
Well, how can people get in touch with you, find out more information, if there's social media they should follow, or if there's an email to find out more about how to be a part of the program, be a part of the event next year?
Yeah, they can look us up on Facebook or LinkedIn. We have pages there. And if they want to email us with any information, they can email us at bakkenbbq@hotmail.com.